Good morning. Welcome to the Special Committee of the Whole meeting for the municipality of the County of Annapolis. Remember to turn your cell phones off or put them on mute or hide them so they make no noise. We will start the day with roll call.
District 1, Carrie Ann Parsons Salzman.
District 2, Jesse Hare.
District 3, Dustin Ansel.
District 4, Charles Crampton.
District 5, Lynn Longmire.
District 6, John Welch.
District 7, Ted Ackenbauer.
District 8, Niall Harding.
District 9, David Oxner.
10.
District 10, Brian Donald.
District 11, Diana Black. Okay, we'll move
My
on.
mind was on something I was writing here.
Is there a disclosure of interest? Seeing none, we'll move on. We need the approval of the agenda. No changes to the agenda. The agenda is approved as presented. And the CAO will have a few words to start, and then we'll go to new business.
Sure. Thank you. So obviously this is my first time with the budget presentation and discussion here with this council, and every municipality does it a little bit differently, so again, it will be new to me as it is to some others. So today, remember, this is a draft. We have to start somewhere. So finance has worked hard to put together a very solid start, I would say. We know that there'll be lots of questions and comments and things that you might want to see different. And that's why we're here to have this discussion. So again, until council makes that approval and sets all the rates, nothing is finalized. So that's again why we want to be here and have this discussion with you today. We certainly know, and I've talked to a few of you individually, that, and that's, Paul will get into it when he does, but there'll be things that will need to change in the future. How we look at tax rates and how we collect funds and the funds we need to collect and all that type of thing. There's certain things that, you know, would be nice to be able to wave a wand and we could do that right away. But some of those things it's a long process that takes a lot of time and thought and consideration. So again, we've had some of that discussion internally, but we know that some of that is going to take some time to get to. So with that, I welcome Paul's presentation.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Wills, you will be starting. And I remind everybody to, I know we get kind of heated sometimes, but let's stay respectful. Okay, Mr. Wills.
Thank you. To echo the CAO's comments, this is my first time through your budget process. One thing I do want to point out, and I'm sure you all observed it, I think I had it in my memo, the budget is rounded to the nearest $100th dollar. On a $29 million budget, it doesn't make sense to budget to the nearest dollar. It really doesn't. And the other thing that I did want to point out, and I'm sure if you're not aware, but I'm sure most of you probably are aware, the province is going to be sitting starting Monday, the 23rd, and they are tabling their budget Monday, the 23rd. So depending how long they sit, the numbers that we have in here for the provincial numbers may change because they approve their budget, we'll get the provincial numbers. In this particular document, we have estimated what we believe the numbers will be. Okay? I am going to sit down because I don't know how long I'm going to be up here. I'm not as young as I used to be.
It's a good plan.
So, the first thing that I will point out is the property tax revenues. The main changes, as you can see there, is in the residential taxes that we're looking at anticipating collecting. I will point out that for 26-27, I do a 5-year rolling average based on what the appeals typically are. We don't take the full assessment times tax rate because we know people are going to appeal their assessment. So using the 5-year rolling average, I actually bring the revenue down a little bit, just so that it's more reflective of what we're probably going to collect. That is the biggest change within the property tax revenue, and I suspect that most of that is, the cap assessment would have increased by 2.6%. The rest of it is usually based on new builds or when a house sells, the cap comes off. I suspect most of that's being driven by the cap coming off, just based on the trending of the D transfer tax over the last couple of years. When it comes to FTEs, we're only seeking one, which I believe council has had a discussion on for the economic development officer. The estimated cost for the salary and benefits is $100,000. We are looking at a, I guess it's a cost share, I call it between the town of Pendleton and the town of Annapolis Royal. So we are looking at recouping about $20,000 of that, and the bulk of the time will be spent in Annapolis County. Further on in the presentation, there is another $20,000 that we've established within the draft budget for this particular person to be able to use, strictly for Annapolis County. You want to ask a question?
I just wanna make you aware is, try not to use acronyms, because what's FTE?
Oh, full-time position.
Okay, because
Sorry.
public won't understand it, I don't understand some of them, so I know it's lingo,
I used to work for Service Nova Scotia and Municipal
but just
Relations.
please try to not use it, so we
When I worked for Service Nova Scotia and Municipal Relations, when the NDP got into power, we had to do a list of all the acronyms that we used, and there was well over 200 of them.
yeah.
So even though I know what it means, I forget sometimes other people do not. So this would be the only additional full-time position that's in the budget. Oh, and the other thing, of course, you might recall, we had a memo a while ago that we, the cost of living adjustment for the staff, effective April 1st, is 2.6%. So then, these are basically slides that reflect exactly what you were given as part of the package. So we're identifying here is essentially what is driving up either the revenue or reducing it and the expenditures. So again, here, I talk about the residential taxes are being up about $1.3 million. And also, the deed transfer tax is up about $250,000. I bumped it up about $250,000 over last year because we're trending higher than what we're actually budgeting for the current year. And it has been running around $2 million, but being an accountant, we like to be a little bit conservative when it comes to revenues. We'd rather be a little bit below and come in higher than be higher and come in lower.
Makes sense.
The unconditional grants, they included the $50,000 for the town's foundation grant, which is basically the former town of Bridgetown. It wasn't budgeted for in 25-26, the current year. So I've included it because we should be getting that. Again, when the provincial budget's approved, we will know these numbers precisely.
So,
The other thing when it comes to the budgeted or the operating revenue is the own source revenue. I think the prior year's interest on the bank accounts and receivable interest has been a little bit low, so I'm gonna bump them up a little bit, just to be more reflective of what we've been actually, I'll say charging, because we don't necessarily collect it all at once.
Councillor Connell?
so you were saying the 50K for the town's foundation grant, so that's not grants we give to the towns? That's grants we.
Every town gets a $50,000 grant as part of their grant and loan.
Okay.
And so when Bridgetown dissolved, that $50,000 started coming to Annapolis County,
Okay,
above and beyond what you get for, I don't wanna use the improper terms, I know what it used to be called, but it's no longer called that, but the operating grant that we get from the province.
okay.
They had another term that's a bit of a bone of contentions. Yeah.
So it wasn't captured in last year's budget, but did we receive? Okay.
Yeah, it's one of the first questions I was asked, is where do we charge this?
Oh.
Because they weren't used to putting it in anywhere, so.
Councillor Egenberg?
If I may, back to the property taxation and the increase of the 1.3 million and of course the deed transfer tax. So my question to that is that area specific, for instance by PID? So I guess what I'm going to here is in the old town of Bridgetown, in respect to the area rates and so on and so forth. So that, I don't know if I should call it a windfall or whatever it is, but it's an increase. Does it get allocated specifically to an area, or does it just go into general revenue?
Well, the way the property taxation works, it's just the general pot. It's not specific per area, we don't spend per area.
Okay.
I mean, we are one county, we are one municipality, and I realize there's a former town here. But ideally, we should be thinking as one, not as two separate entities.
Okay, well, I assumed that was the case, but I had to ask the question because it came into my head. All right.
Now, where it's being driven from, I don't have an answer for that.
Okay.
I don't get into that much detail, but if you need an answer, you can certainly get you one.
We'll leave it there for now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
And we're gonna move on to the expenditures now, if everyone's fine with that.
Okay.
Any other questions before we move on?
So,
Oh,
So we're
okay,
gonna
Ward.
have one more, and I know it's kind of explained when we go into like the breakdown of the GL, but under user fees, we saw a reduction of almost 14%. And I'm just wondering why, I suppose. Like, I know it's somewhat explained in here, but do we know why certain, like the tax certificates and stuff like that, why are we noticing that's gonna be a downward trend?
we're strictly looking at the last 4 years, how the revenue's been running.
Okay.
Don't remember what sheets I gave you, I gave you the last 4 years worth of actuals?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you look at how it's been trending, and then I actually go in and look at the current year to see how we're running this year compared to last year at the same point in time. And it just looks like it's running lower. And as I said before, as an accountant, when it comes to revenues, you try to budget less
Oh, 100%.
rather than more,
Okay.
just to be safe, because if you get more, that's a bonus. If you get less,
Yeah,
then you're
100%.
explaining that.
No, I just wanna ask, every
Yeah.
time I see something over 10%, because
Yeah, I kind of look at the 10% plus over 10 grand.
yes, yeah. Okay.
That's the way I typically looked at it throughout my career.
Perfect.
But yeah, no, it's a good question. But essentially, if you look at the previous 4 years, you
Yeah.
see it trending. And that's what I basically follow.
So we definitely overestimated on after-school programs last year.
I will assume so, I really don't know. When it comes to last year's budget, I can only give you my best educated guess.
Perfect. Thank you.
Anyone else? Councilor Hare?
Just something real quick, I just noticed, return on investments. 2024-2025 was 1.6 million, and it's down to considerably less now. Just wondering why the case that is.
There was an investment done with the Bank of Montreal that paid significantly. We don't have that investment. I'd like to leave it at that.
All right. Interest rates were higher too.
Yeah, I'm just looking up the other years too.
Yeah, there was a significant investment made that was made over 2 years. And it did have a good kickback in the end. But we're not doing that right now. I'll leave it at that unless the CAO wants to make a comment.
We're good. I'm good.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll leave it at that. That's the reason why.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the expenditures, I've broken this down, as you can see. I've done this, basically I've broken it down by, I guess, it's by cost center, but also within the general category. For instance, for general government, it has your council, it has the boards and committees, CAO, clerk, accounting, IT, HR, corporate services, the admin building, the Middleton office, and then we separate the school board charges and the transfers to other governments. So that's all captured under the general government. So under the council, in the past, part of council's wages, and it's a very small percentage, get allocated to the sewer charges and the water charges, the water utilities. In the past, it was being captured under one category rather than where it's actually being charged. So what I've done is for each department, that a portion of the salaries or costs that are allocated to the water and sewer, I've actually put it in the proper cost center. Because if all your expenses are going under council, and we're gonna take a portion of that in, it should be against the council expenses. So that's where the 15,000 of the 25 reduction is coming from. In the past, that didn't happen, that's what I got. With the CAO's office, we have reallocated the communications department and the benefits. We've moved from where they were in the budget for up to here, and with the economic development officers been added here with their benefits, and we added $20,000 essentially for their funds to work with. And again, there's a reduction of $12,000 being allocated to the water and sewer. Under the accounting, there's right now a $400,000 transfer to the operating reserve. There is a $40,000 expected increase from PBSC, $20,000 increase in travel. Part of that is for me, because of the fact that my accommodations are taken care of when I come down to where I'm on contract. It's not that full 20,000, just so you know, it's just contract. And there's 100,000 that we've allocated from the accounting staff over to the water and sewer. They're a larger percentage because you're talking about doing billings and collections, those sort of things. For the IT, tech support, this is a contract.
Going back,
Yeah,
why do you think there's gonna be a 40K increase from PBSC? Is that,
we got a
For
letter
them.
from PBSC saying what they anticipate their costs to go up,
and that's for doing our assessments?
doing hours. Yeah, it's not just